Hello and welcome to Odds on Europa League and Conference League semi-finals. Again, we are going to analyze the 4 games we have this week. It's almost done, I would say, in these competitions, apart from the Fiorentina Betis. It looks like the only semi-final that is a bit open, but I want to hear Alain Valnegri and Leo Bachanian. Perhaps they think we can see a great comeback in this game. So let's listen to your tips. Remember, of course, to subscribe, press the like. Let's go on now with the show. And we are going to start with the games in the Europa League. Guys, we go far, far, far to the north of Europe. Bodo Glimt, Tottenham 3-1 in the first leg. So that goal scored by Siles in the last 10 minutes of the games perhaps gives some options to Bodo Glimt. And if you wanna be optimistic about the Norwegian team, and for instance, Bodo Glimt to win is 3, so the odds are really good. This season, David here, Lazio 2-0, 𝐬𝐭𝐴 3-0, Twente 5-2, Maccabi, Besiktas. Can they do the same, Leo, with Tottenham?
Look, 19 goals in 7 home games and 10 of them in the knockout stages. But I think that Tottenham will qualify, that they're going to go through to the final of this Europa League. They played a good game in the first leg. I think Bodo, despite that goal in the last 10 minutes, which is adding a little bit of uncertainty, they were poor. But yes, I know this is different playing in the Arctic, artificial pitch. Conditions are different, conditions which Tottenham are not used to. But they should do the job, and they have almost done it, to be honest. This is going to be the biggest game for Tottenham, not in this season, or just this season, but the biggest game since the Champions League final for them in 2019. So that is how massive it is for this project, for 𝗵𝗵, who, even if he wins the Europa League, probably he won't stay in this team, but still is the opportunity. They've been waiting, especially the supporters, for many years to play in a European final and try to win a trophy. They continue to offer a different face than we see in the Premier League. The last 16 against 𝐜𝐴𝐧𝐧 wasn't good away. It could have been costly for them, but then in the return leg in London, they won with authority. With Eintracht, we had the level the first leg, and then in Germany, they were very mature performance from Tottenham, and now what they have done last week, only 38 seconds it took for Spurs to be ahead in London. I guess 𝗵𝗵 might have felt vindicated that the first goal from Brennan Johnson came with 2 players that I at least thought, oh, why he's choosing these 2 to play this game, and they both participated in that goal. One of them was Bissouma, who recovered the goal that ended in the goal from Johnson. Bissouma has been poor this season. He played the best game of the season last Thursday, so it was a surprise choice for him for 𝗵𝗵, at least for me, to choose Bissouma ahead of Pape Matar, who played much more regularly lately than Bissouma. All this because Lucas Bergwall got injured on the training ground, and he's out of the season for Tottenham. And the other player that 𝗵𝗵 might have felt vindicated is Richarlison, because he chose the Brazilian to play as a left wing instead of Son, who is injured. And the last time that Richarlison played as a left winger, that was October 2023, so it's been a very long time. Last show we spoke of Bodo being a difficult team or dangerous team at the counter in Europa League, and I think that Tottenham had that into account, because they played more directly than probably all season under 𝗵𝗵. I saw not maybe several, but few long balls from Romero to Maddison, bypassing the midfield. Every time Tottenham was recovering the ball, they tried to be more direct than usual. 3-4 passes and boom, let's try to be inside the box in order to avoid losing the ball in midfield and allowing Bodo for quick transitions. They won't have Maddison on Thursday. That's a huge blow. He's injured in his knee, and yesterday Postecoglou said that it does not look good for him. Solanke is in doubt. He also left the pitch injured in the last minutes of the game during the first leg. Bodo made plenty of mistakes. At some point, the first half looked a little bit amateurish from them, but I expect to see a different phrase, as you have said. Edu at home is a different side, but still, I believe Tottenham is gonna go through in this time. My take is goals over. I expect goals here. Goals over 2.5, which on its own is 163 and is still okay. It's good, but if you combine it with Tottenham to qualify, it takes the odds slightly higher, 1.77 for these two together. Goals over 2.5 and Tottenham to qualify.
Well, it's the season where we saw Harry Kane winning the first major trophy of his career. Perhaps it's also the season for Tottenham to win a major trophy, Alain.
Yes, you said only Fiorentina Betis is open already, but I am pretty sure about one of the three games. Another three games, one will be a surprise, and probably the most indicated is Tottenham. We are speaking about a really weak team, especially in the mentality, in the head. Tottenham is really weak. It's one of the worst seasons they're doing in the last 20 years, and it's a young team. And playing in Bodo is difficult. Playing in this Europa League, nobody won in Bodo. Bodo arrived well because it's a good moment for Bodo. It's true, in the first leg, Tottenham was better, really better than Bodo, but it's another version of Bodo. When they played away, we don't saw that a team able to arrive in semi-final in Europa League. The magnitude about the Bodo is in semi-final is amazing. I don't remember in the last years a team from Norway arrived in semi-final in Europa League. The season is brilliant about Bodo. Bodo play without pressure. Bodo can play really free. It's an historical day for them. Tottenham is a team, don't give me any positive things. And especially when they played away, is a team changed a lot. Postecoglou era is already finished because we know Postecoglou will leave Spurs in the next season. Is the last challenge about the Australian manager, but it will be hardest than the bookmaker said, because Bodo known to play with that skills of them when they move the ball, and Tottenham in defense, they concede a lot. They have a lot of defensive problem. And I think Bodo will be attack well, Bodo will be score, and Tottenham can have some opportunity in counter-attack. And like Leo, I choose the market of goal over 2.25 goals, odds 1.75.
You remember, guys, Tottenham going out against Dinamo Zagreb. I think it was 2-3 years ago. They had a 3-0 advantage
with Mourinho
in the first leg, and they went out in the second leg, losing in Croatia, also 3-0. So be careful if you want to choose a surprise. This could be a good one. Although we expect an all-English final in the Europa League, therefore England will have 6 teams in the Champions League next season, because the other one is Man United Athletic. Man United way better than Athletic, but of course they also played with one more man. The Basque team was complaining about the red card shown to Vivian, so it was quite easy. It was kind of a walk in the park for Man United. 3-0, even that goal in offside with Garnacho. The Amorim rested 8 players at the weekend in the defeat against Brentford, but also Alain, we know how difficult it is to predict this Man United and the Athletic. After the games, the players were saying that they will travel to try it, that they have still a chance to play the final at home, but the dream is almost over for Athletic.
It's difficult. We arrive in semi-final. You have a big match against Manchester United at home, and probably Athletic they play bad only 45 minutes in this Europa League, and is in the semi-final, and you receive 3 goals against Manchester United before you will be traveling in Old Trafford. It's difficult. It's difficult. How there will be accept that, because it's difficult to accept. Yesterday they played a derby against Real Sociedad. We saw a sad version of Athletic, not the team with that warrior mentality, with that direct football, with that positivity. Now, going to Manchester and try to go to the extra time. I remember a Juventus Real Madrid with the Juve able to score 3 goals in Bernabeu, and after the famous penalty with Benatia foul give to Real Madrid the qualification. But in spite of that, Athletic can do that. They must to score fast. In the case of they score a goal, or the same synopsis in San Mamés, they score a goal, a player sent off, Old Trafford start to have a strange ambient atmosphere. Yes, it's the dream of Athletic, but you will be scored fast. I think Athletic we will be see a best version about Athletic Club. At Athletic Club against this Manchester United. Manchester United maybe can be a little relaxed, no? When you win 3-0 in the first leg, you have a attitude is different. And in my opinion, Athletic will be catch a positive results in Old Trafford. I don't see Athletic lose this game. In my opinion, the double chance Athletic Club X2 with odds 1.80 is really high. Respect the difference between both teams, and for that reason, I choose Athletic. Double chance X2 odds 1.80, and the people like the risk can be try Athletic to classify with an odds with 26.
26, indeed, you put 10 euros and you get 220. Well, they have the example of Lyon, Leo. At the end, Man United won that tie, but Lyon was this close to put some drama in Old Trafford. But I don't see it.
And they managed to score 4 goals in 50 minutes, the second half and the start of the extra time. But I don't see it either. Look, even this Manchester United, the worst Manchester United since 1989-1990, at least when we look at the stats of the English football of the Premier League, this is the worst team in 40 years. Even this team cannot mess it up. I think they cannot mess it up. 134 times in a UEFA competition, a team won away for 3 goals the first leg. How many teams went through in the second leg? 134. So United can make history for all the wrong reasons on Thursday, but I don't see it. Can Athletic Bilbao win? Yes, they can win. They're gonna score. But can they win it with the margins needed to at least take this game to extra time? That's the thing I don't see. Plus, Manchester United, even if they have another night off, they always score. Somehow they can score, and especially in Europe. But of course, at the same time, when we look at the game in Bilbao, everything was strange because the first 20 minutes, Athletic played well. They should have scored at least 1 in those first 20 minutes, with Iñaki Williams having a beautiful header, then Lindelof saving on the line. But then, of course, you have Harry Maguire somehow playing as Garrincha on the right to cross the ball. Casemiro scoring, things start to change, and of course the red card to Danny Vivian changed it all. It was madness. It was 10 minutes of madness that it cost Bilbao the game and the tie. The red card at the 35 minutes, the second goal in the 37, and Bruno scoring the third one in the 45 minutes. Just very strange how everything unfolded that way for Athletic. Maybe it was the pressure that we've been talking about playing in San Mamés, and this was a different stage. The red card, anyway, it was strange. Talking about Casemiro, for me, is one of the stories of the season for Manchester United, at least, because he was vilified, criticized up to 3 or 4 months ago. In December, I remember United playing in Old Trafford against Newcastle, and he couldn't run, he couldn't see the ball. Newcastle midfield was quick, intense, and Casemiro was out of place. And now he does not look out of place at all. Physically, he recovered. I think he's much better than 3 months ago physically. And now, I'm not saying that he rolled back the years and you have the Casemiro from Real Madrid, but he's doing much better. And for Amorim, he's a starter all the time lately. And Bilbao, the weekend is very boring 0-0 with Real Sociedad. They are having the 4th place in La Liga, a little bit at risk at the moment as well. So for me, this one is settled in terms of the team that's going to play the final. But my take for this second leg, both teams to score, yes, odds of 1.79.
All right, guys. Well, let's switch into the Conference League. Now we are going to analyze the 2 games. I guess there are no doubts that Chelsea are going to be in the final in Poland. Chelsea Djugarden is the first game we are going to analyze. 4-1. Chelsea won. They were super favorites. We spoke about it. Sancho, Madueke, and Jackson scored a brace. And, they beat Liverpool at the weekend. They have a tough game against Newcastle next week. The goal of the season is at least qualifying for the Champions League next season and winning or playing this conference final, Leo. So my doubt here is how seriously Chelsea are going to take this game with odds 1.2 perhaps. They relax. They don't have nothing to play for, and could be a good opportunity to back Djugarden somehow, no? With some Asian handicap plus something, just not seeing Chelsea thrashing Djugardens again.
Well, I won't trust even that, Edu, even if they played again the rotation. Look, in the first leg, it was Cucurella, Madueke, and Enzo. Those were the only 3 starters, or at least 3 players who started against Liverpool. And they played from the beginning in Sweden. And at halftime, they were already up 2-0. And after 60 minutes, the game was 4-0. And at least Djugardens managed to score 1. For me, this is done. Absolutely. Chelsea is going to play the first decent team in the final in all this competition. There's going to be a lot of rotation as well. Yes, because not just because of the result of the first leg, but because Chelsea is having a final on Sunday in the Premier League. They are playing Newcastle away, and that is going to be a final in terms of like qualifying for next season Champions League. The good news, Cole Palmer finally scored against Liverpool after 18 games in the Premier League without scoring. That is like 4 months for him without scoring. So probably he's going to take some weight off his shoulder, but he's not going to see a single minute anyway. I think against Djugardens, I don't think so. Even Enzo is going to start as he did in the first leg. Look, Edu, I can't trust Djugardens of even on an Asian handicap plus. So my take here is Chelsea Asian handicap -2, odds of 1.67.
Well, Chelsea haven't played against a strong rival in this conference. You mentioned also, Alain, how Djugardens in the road to the semifinals, they were even lucky to beat Rapid Vienna. And by the way, they beat Paphos, that they just won the first league in their history in Cyprus this weekend. You are muted, Alain.
The mighty Paphos.
Djugarden made the history to arrive to the semi-final. They don't deserve against Rapid. They have a synopsis of the game in the second leg. Are so lucky because in the first leg they lose at home 1-0. The focus is Chelsea have the focus to qualify to the Champions League. Is the only way to go to the Champions League is Premier League, and the fighting for the Champions League is amazing. Now it's 4 teams for two spots, or 5 teams for 3 spots, and the point are the team are really near, and they're playing Newcastle the next game against a direct rival, and that one have this effect to the motivation, to the choice of Maresca to put probably 11 player who's not habitually play in Premier or in some games in Conference League. I wait a holiday games or a friendly game with the Risma, with the Chelsea will be take risk. The end of the season can be amazing. If Chelsea won the Conference League and go to the Champions League, it's a really positive season. Remember, guy, at the beginning of the last season, when Maresca arrived in Stamford Bridge, he has 555 player in the roster, and I don't remember a team with that number of players. It's not American football; it's football, and 555. You must to order the things. You must to build a team. You must to build a new model of play, and Maresca do a brilliant job, a really brilliant job, because the condition to working was really hard when he arrived in Stamford Bridge. For that reason, I think Djugarden will do a better game than the game in Sweden, and I choose Djugarden 2 with the handicap 2.75, odds 1.60.
Well, and the one that is really open is the last one, Fiorentina Betis, the one I was mentioning at the beginning. Betis won 2-1. They had a 2-0 lead, but at the end Ranieri scored, so it's very open. Everything can happen. We saw Betis winning in La Liga in the very last minute against Espanyol. And we have to highlight, we are always saying big things about Isco, but Anthony, what a positive effect in this winter transfer window. A player that everyone was mocking when he was playing for Man United. Fiorentina, Alain, lost to Roma at the weekend. You mentioned in the first leg that you were not very optimistic about Fiorentina going into the final. Are you now?
But the results of the first leg was good. Betis is one of the most funny team to watch this season. The level of the technical value of Betis in the midfield is amazing. When do you have Isco, Lo Celso, Fornals in the like midfielder, and in the first leg, yes, Leo mentioned Cardoso. Cardoso must to run for 4 players, but when Betis have the ball, is amazing. We have a lot of solution to attack. Now, Fiorentina feel comfortable against that type of team, because the best results to Fiorentina this season was when Fiorentina don't win the possession, when they can attack the space in counter-attack. Probably the key is the condition of Ken. Because when Ken was fit this season against a team like Juventus, Inter, like Milan, Roma, Lazio, was amazing to see the interpretation of the low block and the skills of attack the space and convert the goals. And if Fiorentina arrive to have that version, Fiorentina can have option, but Fiorentina must to take risk, and it's strange because probably we will see the most defensive team must to attack a really offensive team, and who is Fiorentina attack better or Betis defend better? And I think is the key of the game. Fiorentina, when their attack, is a really boring team. Is a team miss verticality. It's not a team like the last season with Vincenzo Italiano, with the skills, with elaborate the game. Now they need more creativity to have that type of model of play. But Betis known to defend in this area. That is my question. When Betis play a semi-final in Europe the last time, and that one is everything are key. In my opinion, in the first leg, Betis have more opportunity to win with more difference. One goal is a risk for Betis to travel to Florence and manage the score right now. For that reason, I think both teams will be score. I choose both teams to score. Odds 1.73.
Well, Leo, how do you see this tie Fiorentina Betis? We mentioned also before the game at the 𝗵𝗲𝗻 that everything was very balanced, and it looks like that also for the second leg.
It's completely open. I think Betis had a massive chance when Fornals missed almost a sitter with the game already 2-0 in the second half. Minutes after that, Luca Ranieri gave a lifeline to Fiorentina. It's a shame because he could have killed the tie, Fornals, in that situation. Yesterday, La Viola di Olimpico, they throw away a massive chance of Champions League qualification with that defeat against Roma. 𝗲𝐻𝐿 Kim played 45 minutes in Sevilla. Will start on Thursday. He started yesterday, but he needs to recover the sharpness. That's for sure. Anthony is Antonio already for people in Sevilla. Tonio, it's amazing how he settled so quickly. You can see someone again smiling. I think I said it here that last week that after or at some point that after the derby with Sevilla, he was giving an interview next to 𝐿𝐿. He was smiling, laughing, something that we haven't seen Anthony like that in England for a very, very long time. 𝐿𝐿 saying that supporters would love to put some money in a pot for him to stay, and the only thing is like, that's the expectations on Betis, or the hopes of their fans to reach a European final is so big, so huge, that I don't know if that could play into nerves for the team. At the end of the day, Fiorentina, as much as, and I agree with Alain, are not playing as good, or they're not very nice to watch as they were with the Vincenzo Italiano, as they are now with Palladino. They're chasing their third consecutive Conference League final, so they have this know-how of getting into these big games. And for Betis, for many of them, apart from 𝐿𝐿, this is kind of a new situation, and the expectations and the hopes are huge. But I still seeing them favorites to qualify. To be honest, yesterday Lo Celso's goal was great. Anthony's goal was great to win from behind in the last 10 minutes. We showed you that the moment everything is going well for Betis. Everything, even when they are losing a very important game against Espanyol, it doesn't matter. Last 10 minutes they can win the game, and with two beautiful goals. So that's important for them. So my take here, Edu, Alain, goals over 1.5 plus Betis to qualify. These two together 1.72.
Well, guys, this is it for Europe. Great 4 games. Remember, of course, that you can leave your comments telling me your tips, and also post your tips in 𝗀𝗏𝗡𝑥pedia and win some cash prizes, or participate in Rivals, our custom tipster competitions. Leo Bachanian, tell me your safe bet for this Thursday.
Chelsea Djugarden's goals over 2.5, 1.38.
Alain?
Fiorentina Betis double chance 1x, odds 1.42.
And the ACCA, Alain?
Bodo Glimt Tottenham double chance 1x, Manchester United Athletic Bilbao over 2.25 goals, Fiorentina Betis over 1.75 goals in the first half, total 4.37.
And Leo?
Is Chelsea Djugarden's goals over 2.5, Manchester United Athletic Bilbao both teams to score yes, Bodo Glimt Tottenham both teams to score yes. These three together 3.82.
Great, guys. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.